In this presentation, I am going to explain what is meant by operating point of bipolar junction transistor amplifier, and also we'll be covering what are the parameters that will be affected this operating point and what are the how it can be stable, how much that operating point can be stable, what are the methods to stabilize the operating point. Transistor as an amplifier in common emitter configuration. Therefore, common emitter configuration here, as I told you, the emitter junction is forward biased, that is plus here and minus here, and collector junction is reverse biased, is a NPN, that will be plus. Therefore, these are the biasing voltages. VBB and is emitter biasing voltage, and VCC is the collector biasing voltage to bring the operating point to the required value. And here the input signal, that is the base input current, is shown as this is the input signal. Now during the positive half cycle of the input signal, that is during positive half cycle input signal, the forward bias across the base emitter junction increases because it is forward bias here. Additional one more voltage is coming, the forward biasing of this emitter base junction increases. As the forward biasing of this junction increases, the more electrons will be flow into the base, and that is called a base current increases, and that will be causing, because of the increase in base current, the collector current also increases. That is base current increases, that is more electrons flow from the emitter current, more electrons flows from the emitter to the collector current through the base. More electrons will be coming from the emitter to the collector, and that causes an increase in collector current. Therefore, when during the positive half cycle, the collector current increases, and the increased collector current increases the voltage drop across the collector load resistance RC, and that is why during the positive half cycle we are getting an output voltage. That's all collector current like this one. This is the collector current, not the voltage. Collector current is like this one during the positive half cycle. During the negative half cycle of the input, the operation is reversed, because in that case the forward biasing of this junction gets reduced. Therefore, the base current reduces. Due to the reduction in base current, collector current reduces, and that is why we are getting a collector current. Always you can see that one. There's a shift is there. There's a DC shift is there. That is because of this biasing voltages. There the DC shift happens here. Therefore, increased collector current increases the voltage drop across the collector load resistance RC, and during the negative half cycle, the working of operation just reverses. Therefore, this is the base current, and this is the collector current in the case of a common emitter amplifier configuration. Now let us see what is meant by DC load line. DC load line. Now note, the DC load line means that if you consider an amplifier here, if I consider as an amplifier here, now assume that there is no AC signal applied. Now you are going to analyze. There is no AC signal applied, and now if you write the output loop equation here, you say that one output loop equation, applying the Kirchhoff voltage law to this one, VCC is there, and IC that is flowing through RC, IC RC is there, this voltage equal to VCE, or VCC equal to IC RC plus VCE, or VCC equal to VCE plus ICC. Thus we are writing the Kirchhoff's voltage law to this loop, or we can say that one ICRC equal to VCC minus VCE, or the collector current is given by equal to minus 1 by RC times VCE plus VCC by RC. Therefore, this is a straight line equation in which like y equal to mx plus c, similar to y equal to mx plus c, where y means that y is called y-axis, that parameter variable, that is the collector current, and slope equal to m, that is equal to minus 1 by RC, and x, that is x variable, is nothing but VCE, and the y-intercept is given by c equal to VCC by RC. Therefore, this is a straight line equation, that is collector current and the collector to emitter voltage is varying as a straight line, and the locus of this point is called the DC load line. And this is a straight line equation whose coordinates are, now in order to find out these coordinates of this one, that is when VC equals 0, what is the IC? Similarly, when IC equals 0, what is the VCC? Therefore, when, for example, when VC equal to 0, that is when this is a VC, when VC equal to 0, we can say that IC equal to VCC by RC. Therefore, IC equal to VCC by RC. Therefore, 0 VCC by RC is a point of this DC load line. Second point is, it's a straight line equation. The second point is that when IC equal to 0, that is when IC equal to 0, substituting in this equation, we can get that when IC equal to 0, we will be getting it is equal to VCC equal to VCE equal to VCC. Therefore, VCE equal to VCC. Or here we can VCC and 0. This is the second point. Therefore, all the point, this is the log. This point whose coordinates are 1 VCC by RC, second equal to VCC. Therefore, this is a straight line like Y equal to MX plus C, and this is what we call it as DC load line. This is called VCC by RC and VCC. And normally the operating point is called, operating point means that it is a point of intersection of the DC load line with the output characteristics. For example, if the output current, the base current equal to 15 microamperes, this is the operating point of intersection of the output characteristics with the DC load line. Instead of that one, the base current is equal to 10 microamperes, this is the operating point, or the point of intersection of this DC load line with the output characteristics is the DC Q point. It's called the Q point, that is called operating point. Quiescent point we call quiescent point. This is operating point. And we can say that one, the maximum VC equal to VCC and maximum IC equal to VCC by RC. Therefore, this is the DC load line. And this is the operating point. Operating point is will be normally that will be selected at the middle of the characteristics. Continuing this operating point, value of VCE and IC corresponding to 0 input signal is called operating point Q point. Value of VCE and IC corresponding to 0 input signal is called Q point. When there is no input signal, what is the VCE and IC? That is the Q point or quiescent point. And the variation of IC and VCE takes place about this point when the signal is applied. When the signal is applied, the variation in collector current as well as collector to emitter voltage will be happening with respect to this Q point or with respect to this operating point. And for example, when IB equal to 5 microamperes, in this case IB equal to 5 microamperes, 0 signal values are VCE equal to corresponding VCE equal to OC, and similarly IC equal to OD. Therefore, this is the operating point. Voltage across the collector to emitter corresponding to Q point equal to OC, and the current through the collector, that is equal to OD. These are the operating point of the Q point, that is VCE as well as IC corresponding to the point Q. And here VCE equal to VCC minus IC, and coordinates of the DC load line, as I already explained, it is equal to VCC angle 0 and 0 VCC by RC. Just an example here, just shown an example. Here there is no signal, and VBB and VCC or whatever it is here, VCC is applied as 12.5 is the VCC. This is the collector voltage VCC, and collector resistance is given by, it is equal to corresponding 2.5 kilo ohms, and then you can calculate what is the coordinates are VCC and 0. VCC is nothing but 12.5 and 0. That this is the one point. Second is that 12.5 divided by 2.5 kilo ohm, that is will be getting, it is equal to 5 milliamperes. Therefore, these are the coordinates of the DC load line, and corresponding to RC of this is 0.5 kilo ohms and VC is equal to 12.5 volts. Now let us see why this biasing is required, transistor biasing. What do you mean by biasing? Why do you require a biasing? Just an example as shown here, a common emitter configuration in which the input is supplied between base and emitter and output is collector and emitter, and this is the VCC, collector voltage, and this is the RC. Now if an input of applied signal is this one, during the positive half cycle, here this junction is forward bias, and then you will be getting a collector current, that is just like a collector current is you are getting this one. But during the negative half cycle, if there is no voltage here, if there is during the negative half cycle, this junction is getting reverse bias, that is emitter junction is getting reverse bias. That is why there is no base current, and that's why there is no collector current. Therefore you will be getting this one. That is, even though you want to amplify this signal here, that will be amplifying only the one half, that is it will be amplifying on the negative half, it won't amplify. That is what is happening if there is no biasing voltage at the input side. VBB is absent here. But if you introduce a voltage of biasing at the input side, emitter biasing like VBB here, even during the positive half cycle, that voltage will be adding with this VBB, and that will be getting biasing and will be getting a collector current. And during the negative half cycle of this input, because of the already the biasing voltage is there, still that will be in forward bias condition. That's emitter junction forward bias condition. Therefore, there's a base current is there, but base current is value is reducing, and then that collector current reduces, and then you will be getting a amplified version. The collector current will be the amplified version of the input. That is, both positive and negative are getting amplified, so that you will be getting, this is the collector current, the amplified, that's for an input of base current, provided you are applying a biasing voltage VBB. In the absence of VBB, you cannot get a full amplified version of the input signal. Only one half is amplified. But if you are adding a biasing voltage like this one, a shifting is there. There's a shifting in this DC shift is there. You will be getting full amplified version of amplified voltage of this input base voltage. Now let us see what are the variations of transistor parameters. What are the variation of transistor parameters? Transistor parameters, one parameter is the current gain, common emitter current gain beta. That will be varying from one device to another device. For example, BC147 beta varies from, it may be either 100 or up to 600. Even though it's the same transistor of type BC147, beta from one lot it may be 100, another lot it will be 600, like that. That will be, it's not a constant. Beta is not a constant. Another thing is VB is also, that is voltage between base to emitter, just like there's a diode equivalent voltage, that is diode, are not the same even for the same type of transistors. That will be varying. Therefore VB as well as beta will be, these are the transistor parameters that will not be constant. And this inherent variation of this transistor parameters may change the operating point. As the beta changes, of course the collector current changes, that operating point is not be stable. Therefore inherent variation of these parameters will be change the operating point. Now let us see what you mean by the stabilization. What is meant by the stabilization of the operating point? As you know, the collector current in a transistor changes. The collector current in a transistor is a function of, one, as temperature changes, collector current changes, and transistor is replaced by another same type due to the inherent variation in transistor parameters like beta and VBE. The collector current changes. We'll be seeing later, because collector current equal to the equation we'll be seeing the next one. IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO. IC equal to collector current equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO, or therefore it is a function of, as ICO means reverse saturation current. ICO is a function of temperature. For every 10-degree rise in temperature, ICO gets doubled. Therefore the reverse saturation current ICO is a function of temperature. That is why IC is a function of temperature. Collector current is a function of temperature. Apart from that one, beta will be also its parameters changes. Similarly, VB is also changing. Therefore, the process of keeping the operating point independent of temperature changes and variation of the transistor parameter is known as stabilization. Even though the temperature changes, the operating point should be kept constant. That's what we call it as stabilization. Once the stabilization is done, zero signal condition IC and VCE becomes independent of the temperature variation and replacement of transistors. That is, operating point is fixed. That is the purpose of stabilizing the operating point. It won't change even though the temperature changes due to the changing reverse saturation current or due to the changing beta value of VBE. That operating point should be stable. That's called the stabilization. This is what I told in the previous slide. That is, temperature depends of IC. Temperature dependence of IC, because IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICO. This is what I told you. Collector current equal to beta times IB. IB is the base current, beta is the current gain, 1 plus beta into ICBO, or sometimes we call it as ICO also. ICBO means collector to base current when emitter is open circuited. That is ICBO. That's also equal to ICO. For the collector current ICBO, that is this one ICO, that greatly depends upon the temperature. For every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICBO causing a change to is doubles ICBO. For every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICBO gets double, causing to change the collector current as per this equation and changes the operating point. For one parameter is that for every 10 degree rise in temperature, ICBO changes, or also we call this ICO, same, both are same, and that causes to change the collector current. Second is that as the value of the beta and VBE that are not exactly same for any two type of transistor. If you are taking the same transistor, same type of transistor like BC10 147 or something like that, even though the same number or same specifications, beta value will be different. Beta will be similarly, VBE will be different. Due to that one, that also IC will be changing. Also, VBE decreases. That is, as temperature increases, VBE decreases. It's inverse relation. That also will be changing the operating point. So for these three reasons, either the leakage current gets doubled for every 10 degrees Celsius temperature, beta will be changing, and VB will be changing, IC will be changing, and the operating point will not be stable. And there's a term what we call it as thermal runway. As you know that collector current in for a common emitter concentration equal to IC equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta ICBO. ICBO is also called ICO. As temperature increases, ICBO increases because that gets double for every 10 degrees in temperature. As temperature increases, ICBO gets increases, and as ICBO increases, collector to base current when emitter is open circuited. As this ICBO increases, IC also increases as per this equation. As IC increases, the power dissipation increases because power dissipation is given by VCE into IC. Therefore, power dissipation increases. As the power dissipation increases, the temperature again increases. As the temperature increases, again ICBO increases, and again IC increases. Then again power dissipation increases. This is a cumulative process, and finally this effect is a cumulative, and finally the collector current may become very large and causing the transistor to burn out. That process is called the self-destruction of the unstabilized transistor is known as thermal runway, because we have not stabilized that one, and this self-destruction of this unstabilized transistor is known as thermal runaway. Therefore, let us see how can you stabilize this one in the later slides. Therefore, we have seen the collector current is a function of a reverse saturation current or ICBO, as well as beta, as well as VBE. Therefore, as temperature increases, ICBO gets doubled, as well as the transistor changes, beta and VBE. VBE also a function of temperature. Therefore, IC will be changing as IC increases, as temperature increases, ICBO increases, IC increases. Finally, IC increases, we can say temperature, power dissipation increases, then temperature again increases, ICBO again increases, IC increases. It's a cumulative process. Finally, the device gets destroyed. So that is self-destruction of the unstabilized transistor is known as thermal runaway. In order to avoid the thermal runaway and consequent destruction of the transistor, it is essential to keep the operating point stable. Therefore, you have to keep the operating point stable even though there is a variation in temperature or if the variation in beta or in variation of VBA. You have to keep the operating point stable. And in practice, this is done by causing IB to decrease as IC increases. If there's a mechanism, as if at all there is by due to the increase in temperature, ICBO increases as IC increases, and as IC increases, if there is a mechanism or if there is a circuit to reduce the IB, then IC gets reduced. And therefore, that is by causing IB to decrease, and that causes IC to. As IC increases, there should be a mechanism to reduce the IB, and then that will be decreasing beta IB, and that will be decreasing the collector current IC, compensating for the increasing, that is 1 plus beta ICO is the reason why the IC is as temperature increases. This part, because of 1 plus beta ICO, IC increases. But if there's a mechanism to reduce the IB so that beta IB, this part here, to compensate this increase in current due to the change in temperature, then you can keep the IC nearly constant. And this is considered while designing the different types of biasing circuit. That will be explained in the next presentation. We'll be seeing what are the different biasing circuit to keep the operating point stable, independent of the variation in temperature, variation in beta, and variation in VBE.